comparison review between these two amplifiers, Denon PMA-2000IV-R with my current on-trial Luxman L-505ux amplifiers. So right now, Luxman amp is almost 400 hours of usage because I leave them play 24/7. So that's how I do with new equipment. I just want to make sure everything is burned in and run in as quick as possible. First of all, build quality. Input selector knob and volume control knob, Luxman is better, and probably many things are comparable except for liqueur volume control system that Luxman uses. So Denon is 20 years old design, and they improve on this Mark IV. Luxman sounded a bit more refined and a little bit more control over high frequencies compared to Denon integrated amplifier. When it comes to power, as you can see, Denon amplifier, I can get my preferred loudness level around 75 to a little over 80 dB at around 9 o'clock position on the volume control knob. But Luxman, I have to crank all the way to 10 o'clock position to get the my preferred loudness level. Based on these comparison, it's comparable, but gain and loudness level, Denon is so much better compared to Luxman. And sound quality, it will be totally depends on personal taste and preference, because overall reproducing the sound from the speakers, Denon totally manhandle the 706S2 speakers, especially bass performance. Luxman is more relaxing sound, a little bit more refinement in higher frequencies, cleaner, and maybe a more defined mid-range, especially upper mid-range, because Luxman can control upper mid-range brightness, unlike the Denon. But Denon will reproduce the sound as it should without adding anything to the sound signature, I should say. But upper mid-range to high frequency, I like the Luxman, the way that reproduces sound. Lower mid-range to bass performance, I like the Denon sound out of the 706S2 speakers. Overall sound quality, it all comes down to personal preference and how much are you willing to spend on these kind of components. In Japan, Luxman L-505ux II directly compete to successor of this Denon PMA-2000 series, PMA-2000E, which is the latest generation. In my system with these speakers, Denon is nowhere near outclassed by Luxman in terms of power output and sound quality. High frequencies, Denon reproduce the sound as it recorded without interfering or coloring anything. But in the other hand, Luxman reproduces sound with a bit more refinement, a bit more control over high frequencies. So totally control the edginess or brightness or that kind of sound is non-existent with the Luxman amplifier. So it can be said Luxman have more refined high frequencies reproduction over Denon amplifier. And upper mid-range, Luxman reproduce very well controlled with very musicality and tonal accuracy with nicely reproduced soundscape that I can enjoy listening to my music for a very long time without the hint of any brightness in upper mid-range region. In the other hand, Denon will reproduce as it recorded or as its speaker will reproduce, and time to time I get annoyed by that a little bit brightness in that upper mid-range region. So upper mid-range, Luxman is a better performer. When it's come to lower mid-range and bass performance, Luxman is a bit loose. It may produce a deeper bass compared to Denon amplifier, but Denon amplifier will produce tighter and faster bass response, very nice and tight and very taut, well-controlled bass performance with 706S2 speakers. So Luxman, in the other hand, reproduce the bass deeper but less control, not enough authority, not enough tightness, or not fast enough for my taste of music. Maybe I should put it like bass performance out of a very good quality tube amplification. So that kind of bass performance, nice and smooth and relaxing bass with musical soundscape. Lower mid-range, I don't think Luxman is good enough for my taste, because snare drums and those kind of performance very good, but Denon is more dynamic and more engaging and lifelike reproduction of that frequency range. So bass performance and lower mid-range, Denon is my preferred type of sound reproduction compared to the Luxman. Overall line stage sound quality is 50-50 because I prefer upper, mid-range and high frequencies of a Luxman 505ux II, and lower, mid-range and bass performance I prefer Denon PMA-2000IV-R. Phono stage, I use the Denon DL80MC cartridge and Denon DL301 Mark II. So DL80MC cartridge is high output MC cartridge. DL301 Mark II is a low output MC cartridge. If I compare using these two integrated amplifiers, I prefer reproduction of the sound from Denon Phono stage over Luxman 505ux II, because Denon is clearer, more definitions, more space between the instruments, and more dynamic sounding. For the Luxman, they produce a very quiet, nicer, smoother sound signature. Some may prefer, but if you compare to Denon Phono stage, Luxman is a little bit lax on details and definition and attack, and the gain is not as high as the Denon. So Luxman is a bit more on the warm side, and Denon is a little bit more on the neutral side. That's how I should put it. For the Phono stage, I'm totally impressed with the how good the Phono stage in this Denon amplifiers. So Denon is much older design, yet still comparable to modern design Phono stage in this kind of amplifier like Luxman. Luxman gives me a bit quieter background and darker, blacker background when it's playing music, or even in the quiet passages. No noticeable noise or any hiss or white noise or nothing, super quiet. Denon may have a little bit more noise floor, higher noise floor compared to Luxman. But sound signature, I like the bass control and tightness of Denon sound quality over this Luxman, because I prefer the Denon Phono stage. Luxman is a little bit more on the warmer side than the Denon amp. So Denon is a bit more closer to the neutral side, yet very engaging musical sound that it can reproduce. And for the gain, totally outperform the Luxman. So for the Phono stage, I prefer Denon over this Luxman 505ux II. So another point to Denon. So now we are going to compare them with the power and pre and using as the separate components. So I started with the Denon as a pre, Luxman as a power, using the AudioQuest cable, Denon pre out to Luxman main input, and I hit the separate button. As you can see, little orange light on the right hand side of the display. And this combination is totally enjoyable. Bass performance is very nice and deep, and high frequency is still have a little bit of brightness. a little edginess compared to Luxman integrated amplifier. Denon still reproducing that kind of sound using as a pre. And bass performance is not as tight or not as well controlled as I would love. Overall sound quality totally enjoyable. Upper mid-range refinement is still, Luxman integrated amp is a bit better. Clarity, detail, very clean sound quality. I would say is more towards a neutral sound. Overall performance, I will summarize very nice and big soundstage, deep bass performance, and very musical sound signature that I can listen. As a Denon preamp still retain or reproduce the a little bit lack on high frequency refinement and upper mid-range control and refinement that stays shows in this combination compared to standalone Luxman integrated amplifiers sound reproduction of this 505ux2, but it doesn't have the sound signature and more engaging sound that I was looking for. Most noticeable thing is bass is a bit tighter compared to Luxman standalone integrated amplifier. So that's the highlights of this combination. And then I try Luxman pre and Denon power amp. So this case I have to move the switch in the back of this Denon amplifier to power section. Overall background noise is much quieter in this setup. Highs are much smoother compared to previous setup. Details are comparable. Dynamic sound is comparable. Lower region performance is much better. So that's why pre-amplifier is one of the most important setup in any audio chain. That's why really good pre-amplifiers are ridiculously expensive. In this setup, Luxman totally outperformed in regarding to background noise, sound quality, overall sound signature, and wider sound stage because Luxman preamp is superior or better than Denon pre-stage in this amplifier. I can be totally happy with this combination using as the Luxman as a pre, Denon as a power amp, but I'm not planning to use that way because I'm planning to use Denon amplifier in different system. To be honest, this combination, sound reproduction and performance and everything is better than standalone performance of either amplifiers. So here's my conclusion. Luxman power stage is not as good as a Denon. Denon power stage is much superior compared to Luxman, but Luxman pre-stage is much better than the Denon. Denon pre-stage is not as good. When it's come to MC phono stage, Denon is my preferred phono stage for my music listening, but Luxman may have a bit warmth to the sound signature of the MC phono stage, but overall refinement, details, and musicality, Denon is much better for my taste and my setup. Back in the days, Denon retailed for $1,200 15 years ago. Now, to get the similar performance, you have to pay $4,500 here in North America. That's kind of joke in my opinion, because in Japan, Denon PMA-2000NE and Luxman 505ux2 is direct competition. I don't know. I mean, for overall sound quality, is 50-50. Upper mid-range to high frequency, I prefer Luxman. Lower mid-range to bass performance, I prefer Denon. And phono stage, I like Denon phono stage more than the Luxman phono stage. Appearance and everything, hands down, Luxman look nicer with all the meters and everything. But overall price and performance, I'm not sure I'd be happy with this amplifier for $4,500. I may have to go up on higher price point than this to differentiate and hear the significant improvement in sound quality over this Denon amplifier. I will have to make another video about it. And then I'm not going to keep this Luxman amplifier as my reference amplifier because it's just a little better in overall refinement in certain frequency range. The power and dynamics and overall control over the speakers not even good as a Denon 15 years old Denon amp in this system with 706S2 speakers. Bass performance, Denon totally outperformed the Luxman in tightness and fastness, but a Luxman bass performance is something left to desire for me. After this video, I'm going to pack it up and take it back because I have to go up and I have to do more research. So let's see what's the difference makes it this amplifier. This is a 505 and 507. This is real Luxman power transformer compared to the 505uXII transformer, which is not made by Luxman. They use the third-party supplier Bendo from Malaysia. So that's a little disappointment for me for this price point. They use Bendo. I'm not saying Bendo transformers are bad or anything like that, but you know, for this price point, why can't they use their own transformers? Because this transformer is made in Malaysia, and I'm not sure they can call this amplifier made in Japan because more appropriate terms will be assembled in Japan. That's another downside for me, that I realized this one doesn't have real Luxman power transformers. So my research and audition continue. I'm a bit disappointed with this Luxman, but overall I totally enjoyed my time with this Luxman. This Luxman is not going to stay in my system. I'm going up on the chain. Probably I will try Luxman L-505ux2. So that's it. That is my review comparing these two amplifiers. I'm gonna take the amplifier back to the dealer tomorrow. So my search will be continued, and I will make a few more videos about it, which one I will try and which one I will buy. So thank you for watching. Happy listening.